Hey YouTube, it's Alex with Rapid Rebuilds. Got some new shocks for my Ram 2500. Mine's a 2011, but these shocks are for an 03 to 13. Apparently they're all the same for a 2500. So we're gonna go replace the front and rear shocks and then start working on a steering stabilizer that I got, all from Rough Country. So let's get going and get this ride smoothened out. Alright, so we're going to be starting over here on the passenger side. As you can see, right about there, that is going to be the top nut of the shock. You can see a little bit better down here. Where I was pointing was the top of the strut. We're going to be taking these three, I believe they're 15 millimeter nuts off, and then there's one underneath, and then that should pull up so that we could put that new shock on. How long is this bolt? There we go, guys. So that's the bolt. There's no nut on the other side. So you just have to find the hole, which is that big one right there. Like I mentioned, 21 millimeter socket, and you are good to go. Alright guys, still over here on the passenger side. Got that nut. You can't really see it with the ratchet. So we've got that nut, this nut, and then another one right there. And this whole top piece will slide out since we've got the bottom nut out. And so here we go. Alright guys, I wasn't able to get a good recording of it. So I've got all of them off. They just went straight up, so now I gotta go to the top side and pull the shock up and get it out. Alright, hopefully we can just wiggle this through. It's not looking promising, so it looks like we're gonna be taking the top nut off. So here we go. All right, top nut 19. All right guys, I got the wrench out and I got the Allen wrench out. Let me try and get a better photo picture. So the top part has like a little Allen to put it in, and then we're just gonna be putting this wrench through there and getting on that nut. It's hard to get a good recording of what we're doing because of the area. That shows it a little bit, I guess. Oh man. Come on, penetrating oil. Why don't you guys break this through for me? This video is gonna be terrible, and I'm sorry, guys. Oh, even worse. All right, guys, not that you would know, but having some tripod issues, so got that all resolved. It's kind of hard to show this, but Basically, I'm just getting this wrench and Allen to go towards each other to very slowly get this nut off. So we're gonna get the Allen at the top, wrench at the bottom, just slowly pulling them together. So, all right, after 13 hours, it felt like, finally got this nut off. Slow and steady wins the race, right? Here comes some of the bushings. Should be able to push it down far enough to get it underneath the metal. But all this stuff is in the way, so I won't be able to show you. Basically what I'm going to be doing is pushing down on the shock, pushing it out the edge of this little triangle housing. All right, I got the old shock in, or old shock's out, new shock is slid in. So now we gotta line it up and get this bottom nut in first. Bottom bolt, whatever. So. Oh man, how am I gonna? There it is. Slides in nice and easy if you leave the compressor on. Leave the shock completely compressed how they come brand new. All right, what was that, a 21? Gotta wiggle it into place until the threads start getting in. Already starting to get a little tighter. Is that it? Let's get the breaker bar, make sure it's nice and tight. Don't want shocks going anywhere. All right, now let's move to the top. All right, guys, here's from the top angle. I still got these ties right there holding the shock down. I'm gonna throw some nuts on those bolts to get it down, and then we're gonna release this right there so that the nut goes to the top so we can tighten that nut down. All right, guys, got everything started. Got this nut, all three of them started. You saw the bottom nut was tightened up. Got this guy all started, so I'm just gonna be tightening them all up. I ended up taking the tire off, as you can tell. Made it a lot easier to get to, and so yeah, let's just get all these nuts tightened up and tire back on, move to the other side. All right, guys, this is basically how it sits in the truck. This is the top half, this is the bottom half. What I found out by doing the driver's side is I loosened that bolt up but didn't pull them out all the way. I got this very top nut off, and then I got these 3 guys on the side off, and it seemed like it came out the easiest that way. So make sure you take that nut off first, then you can compress the shock enough once you get those 3 bolts out to push it down far enough so that you can get that little triangle thing, this little triangle thing out of the way, and then finally remove that bottom bolt. So we're gonna go ahead and put it back together and see which method puts it back together the easiest, so that you guys know how to do it. All right, guys, so we put this top triangle on the new shock, Rough Country. So we're gonna put this in and see if this goes in easier than the passenger side, and let you know. All right, guys, so we got that bottom nut in, shock is in. As you can tell, it's getting really dark on me. Then we got the very bottom nut on, then we tighten that top nut on, and then we're gonna do the 3 nuts on that little tripod thing so that we can get this shock back in, and that's how we're gonna do this driver's side. All right, guys, we're in the rear now. I didn't film it because it was so simple, but I did the rear shocks. Literally just unbolted this guy and made my way up to the top, got him off, put the new shock on, bolted it in, and was done. Didn't have to lift it up or anything. Very simple in the rear. There's the other one as well. Bolts up there, and then right here behind the axle, you can barely see it. Just 2 bolts, maybe 20-30 minutes at the most. Rear end was really easy, but the front end was taking a little bit longer than expected, and I started losing daylight. So still working on the driver's side, so I'll get some videos up showing some tricks and stuff that I learned on the front end.